What's up guys, I'm Chris with the Outdoor Millennial YouTube channel. This is my first video and hopefully this will be the first of many. This channel is going to be about outside stuff, mainly fishing, hunting, and hiking, all kinds of cool stuff like that. Today we're on the river and we're going to be kayak fishing. And if you've ever kayak fished, you know that it's really easy to lose a lot of your gear. So I'm going to cover a couple tips to limit that also. When you're fishing a river, it's really important to know about the water level. This river in particular is subject to generation by a dam upstream about 10 miles. You can see behind me, that's how high the water was only a few hours ago. So it's about 4 or 5 feet different, and that can be very, very dangerous if you get caught in that while you're kayaking. Another tip if you're kayaking by yourself is to kayak upstream and then paddle back. That way if you're up there and you have any kind of accident or you hurt yourself or you lose your paddle or maybe they decide to raise the water level, you can float back to safety and you're not caught downstream. A lot of dams will provide the release schedules to you if you just go to their website. So for bait today, I'm mainly using worms and live bluegill. It's really good to throw these live bluegill around blowdowns or eddies like behind this big pillar up in front of us. Big catfish and big striped bass will hang out there, and they're really active at this time of day to feed. It's a beautiful August morning, and hopefully we'll wear them out today. Alright, so right now I'm in this little eddy behind this log jam. You can see that. The way you can tell you're in an eddy is by looking at the bubbles. There's a lot of bubbles in one spot, they're not moving very much. That's kind of a good indicator of what the water's doing. So fish like to find these eddies and just hang out and beat the current and wait for the food to come to them. So if you can sneak into one of these pools and throw your lines out, the odds of you hooking up are pretty good. And to avoid snags, either have a bobber out, I have a bobber out on this line in front of me, or cast almost directly behind you. This rod right here is almost directly behind me and I have not snagged yet. If you cast straight out in front of me where the current is, the water will grab your line and your bait and drag it along the bottom until you find a snag. And this river is full of big rocks and bedrock. So it's not something you can just unsnag yourself from easily. So the best way to avoid that is to cast directly behind you in this slack water current. We're just hanging out here for a couple more minutes, see if we grab anything, and then we'll move on to the next spot. Just had some action on this rod, see if he's still on there. I'm at a creek mouth right now. Oh yeah, he's still on there. No, he's not. Alright, so just caught this first one on a worm. He got me hung up in a snag, so I had to go get him out of the snag. This is a freshwater drum. They're common in this river basin, and they're pretty popular all over the country. But we're gonna keep this guy for cut bait because I've done very well using these guys for cut bait in the past for striper. So we'll get him off and get that worm back out there and catch another one. And for that drum, this is just a little number 6 or number 8 bait holder hook with some earthworm and a 1/4 ounce split shot. That's it. This is a ultralight with 6-pound test line. And casting it directly back into that pool right there, that's all you gotta do to avoid the hang-ups. If I were to cast into this current, I would be snagged immediately. Got fish on right here. Oh, he popped off. No. Probably another drum. The reason he popped off is because the barb of my hook wasn't exposed. It was buried in the worm, so it just pulled it right out of his mouth. You gotta make sure there's a little bit of barb sticking out so it can grab the fish's mouth. Another good tip to not get stuck when you're even fishing downstream. If you're fishing on the bottom, whenever you go to reel it in very, very quick. If you drag it across the bottom, it's gonna find a snag. So pop it up and reel it in real quick and you won't get a snag. Even though I just got one. So I'm gonna try a piece of this cut up drum. I just cut off a little piece of the fillet and scaled it. Just hook it through the top right here, just leave a nice strip. The skin on this drum is so tough. It will not come off the hook. Just like that, with a good amount of that barb exposed. We're gonna throw it right back out in the same spot and see if we'll get a hungry fish. So I've got worm on the small rod, live brim on the rod on the left, and then cut bait on the big rod in the middle. We'll see what happens. There's an otter over here. Let's see how close we can get to it. Well, I think that was actually a muskrat, but I got a bite right here on this little rod. Maybe. Yeah, he's still on there. Let's see what it is. Little, probably a drum again. Don't get tangled in my other line. Yeah, he got tangled in my other line. It's another little drum though. All twisted up. Well, I just moved to a little rocky outcropping and I got a hit on the brim, so we'll see if he's on there. Maybe he'll get me into a snag. Oh, he wasn't on there. Cleaned me out though. That's good. Been here for about 3 minutes. Already got a hit. It's a good sign. Oh, I got a big hit on the worm. Yeah, buddy. Oh, nice drum. Nice drum. A lot bigger than the last couple. Very pretty. Look at that. Nice fish, nice fish. He's pretty big. We're gonna throw him back. Come on now. Come on. There we go. Well, this might be a good spot after all then. That's two hits in about 3 minutes. I got a hit on the big rod. Not sure if he's still on it or not. He's still on it, I think. Probably a small catfish. They grab the back end of the bait, but don't get the hook in their mouth. So when I go to set the hook right now, he'll just let it go, and it won't get him. We can try it. He's still playing with it. There's a tree out in the middle of this hole, so hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, you let go. Don't snag the tree. There's the tree. Dang. Looks like both my rods are on it actually. Well, I got unstuck and there was a fish on this one. Oh, it's not a fish. It is a turtle. Turtle on a live bluegill. Snagged him in the foot. Oh, there we go. Real nice turtle. Big one. Does not look very happy. But he was just barely hooked in the foot, so we were able to unhook him and we'll throw him back in the water. That is a first for me, for sure. Get in there. Doesn't waste any time. So I had 2 rods stuck and 1 hooked on a turtle. So basically 3 rods stuck. Come on, buddy. Are we hung up in a snag or something? No? Yeah. It's got me wrapped up in a rock or something. Drop off my phone so I can get wet. I was walking up on this island and looked back and rod was bent over. There you go, I think he broke free. A little catfish. There we go, little channel catfish. He hit that thing pretty hard. There he goes. Well, my battery's almost dead, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Remember, the easiest way not to get snagged when you're river fishing is to anchor above a big pool and then cast straight downstream into the pool. And then if you do get hung up, you can always paddle out there and get it back, most likely. This river is gonna flood again at 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna be off the river by then, so I got about an hour. Oh, I think I got a fish right here. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. I'm hoping to start making these a weekly occurrence, doing different things every time. Remember, everybody, get outdoors.